this is how the breakout is going to work. We're going to create 3 different groups as opposed to 4, 3 different groups. And in those 3 different groups, we will make sure that each of those groups is manned by one of the core team. And they will be sharing certain flyers of those that have chosen to want to exhibit. And what you do is once you're in that breakout room, whichever one you are, look at what they are doing, ask questions around it, and try to find out what they are doing. Once you know enough for yourself and you think you want to go and find out the next person, you can always leave the group. You come to the main room. At the main room, there will be someone waiting at the main room that will be reassigning you to new places you want. When you leave the breakout room, you can always ask that you want to go and check a different product. Or you can ask what products are currently available in the 3 rooms, and they'll tell you which of them is available, and you can choose to want to go there instead. And they'll move you to those breakout rooms. Ask more questions as you desire in those places as well. If you've gotten enough updates, you can come to the main room as well and go to the 3rd place or 4th place if it's available. Now, if you've gone through all the breakout room and the breakout session is not closed, then you can quietly wait at the main room while everybody come out. We're only spending about 20 to 25 minutes on the breakout session. So you can gather what you need to gather, talk around what you want to talk about, and it could also be a time for you to stretch your legs if you're feeling a bit crampy, like some of us that have been on one position all day. So outside that as well, you could also ask questions that relate around the general summit in the main room. Whoever is in the main room, we equally ensure that they're answering all general questions as you may need. For example, the things that are going on in the breakout room are not, you're not so interested in them. Beautiful. You can ask general questions in the main room, and then they could we'll have people designated there that can answer you as much as possible. As we break out the room, just kindly exercise a bit of patience. In the next 2 to 3 minutes, you start seeing yourself in various breakout rooms. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, so yes, sir. Kindly exercise patience. We're sorting. We want to make sure that it's you guys go to the right room. Just 1 to 2 more minutes, please. Thank you.
You want to chop, you know what's try, you want to flex, so you must have.
Mr. Tola, you can come back online, please.
But you know, say I want to be right. If you try to mess with me, I look the other way. But if you fuck up, you will never get away. Right now, I do crack, I know the day I got. I know they do crack, I know the day I got. Everything is popping up for my side. That's why the people eyes they shoot for my side. I'm gonna shoot as a way because for my side. Me, I they say every day because of my guys. Sometimes it's full, that's a real don't drop fella food. Back in all the days, they would call me a fool. See me today, say, oh my God, I'm grateful. It's true love, say me, I know they do I know they get I know I can do I know they get I say, you know, I know you want to chop, you don't try, you want to flex, so it's where they worry you, they for your body. That's the way they feel, I like to complain. You know, I want to get you to be so out when you know, watch out on the road, watch out for them hyenas, watch out when you know, watch out on the road, watch out. Look around in all the places you go to, stand your ground and stay solid like Google. Watch your back and just do what you're supposed to. Take care of family and people you're close to. Them let you down, pass you, people on your own last you. Everybody keep on searching, one miraculous blessing. You buy money lost you. If you know for yourself, you go lost you. If you get the money, you be trust you. And nobody only know I trust you. I just realized when I come around and when they play the song, I just feel alive. I'm not just a singer, when they give me ginger, I give you the vibe. The sound of the guitar, sweet but sweet, I love you tonight. And when you get me, do it in my best. The sound is taking me far away. Again, I'm feeling something inside.
All right. Okay. So if you're still in the main call and you haven't seen a notification sent to you on where your breakout room will be, just kindly signify on the in-call message, and we'll do well to send you the notification of a breakout room. However, we've sent notifications to quite a lot of people, so just look at the top of your screen and you'll see the invite to a particular breakout room. At the end of that invite, you would see join. You can just press join, and you would definitely be accepted into that breakout room. So, but if you are yet to be added to a breakout room and you're still in the main call, please just kindly signify, and you would see a notification for a breakout room for you to partake in. We've still got 14 minutes, and you'll just be quickly added into that, and you enjoy the rest of the summit. So thank you. And to those in need of a breakout room, don't worry, you'll see the notification for your breakout room pretty soon. I can see messages from Contract Edge. Don't worry, you receive the notification pretty soon. I can see Ogaga David saying he needs another room. Don't worry, we'll move you to another room pretty soon.
Mr. Timmy, I see that you're having your hands raised. Do you have a question?
No, I was asking if you can add me to breakout session 2. I had been in breakout session 3, the one on honey and all that. I opted out.
All
I
right,
wanted to.
I'm going to add you to breakout session 3 right now.
No, I was in 3. I don't want to go back to 3. I
Oh,
want
I'll take you to 2. I'll take you to 2.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll be going into the last communicative session on the summit program, and it's will be the last panel session. You see, we have a lot of people in the diaspora network that will be that have been impacting Nigeria. Just this week, I read the news that stated Nigeria actually got a large chunk of remittance in this last first half of the year. And I want to tell you that without people in the diaspora, there are some things in Nigeria that will stop. As a matter of fact, diaspora commits are responsible for how Nigerian balance fluctuates. You see, that Nigeria has a balance, a monetary balance, a dollar balance. And in 2020, it was flat. But then we've never to build it up to the highest in 9 years. And it is largely due to our people in the diaspora. But there is a caveat to diaspora and engagement, and that's what we're looking at this panel session. I will be introducing Miss Adebisi Grace to moderate the session. We were introducing our speaker as they come in, but before she goes forward, she's going to read out the profile of the speakers as she has it. But the idea is we want to understand what these people look at when they actually invest or choose to invest in Nigerian companies.
All right. Good evening. Oh, good afternoon. That's in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be here. My name is Adebisi Grace Oluwafunmilayo, and I will be moderating this panel session. The title is Diaspora Engagement in Nigeria, and I'll be having two panelists on the floor. The first person is Mr. Adeleke Eniola, the founder of Calabash Farm Limited. He resides in the UK. And the second panelist that we're having on the floor this afternoon is the person of Miss Adiola Oduge. She is a customer service expert, and she works with a British petroleum, and very interestingly, she is one of our farm lots. So I'll be having them on the floor. We'll be talking about the theme diaspora engagement in Nigeria. Thank you. So I actually want to know if the two panelists are on the floor, if they're already on ground. Mr. Adeleke Eniola, are you there?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Wow.
I hope you can hear me.
Sorry. Please, can you come out louder? I can't hear you clearly, sir.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Can
All
you hear me
right.
now?
Yes, I can. Good afternoon, sir. It's nice to have you here. Thanks for coming. Okay, Miss Adiola Oduge, can I hear you, ma? Miss Adiola, are you there, ma? Okay. I don't know. I think she's not here. Miss Adiola, are you there?
She's experiencing a bit of she's having network issues, and then she's in a tight spot. But if she can make it, she would come in and then she will make appearance known. In the meantime, you can go ahead with Mr. Adeleke Eniola.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, while we wait for the second panelist, that's Miss Adiola Oduge, I pray she is able to get back on track very soon. We'll be moving ahead with Mr. Adeleke Eniola, and we'll be talking about diaspora engagement in Nigeria. And Mr. Adeleke Eniola, sir, I would like to ask you, what's your view? What's your view about the people, the Nigerians outside out there? What's your view about them understanding and implementing their due diligence in investment in Nigeria, sir?
All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. If you don't mind, do you mind me make me a presenter and I can just throw some few things? It'll be about 15, 20 minutes presentation and we will now talk in between.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you clearly. I'm sorry.
Can you make me a presenter?
Yeah, sure. You can present.
Okay.
You can share your screen, sir.
Oh, no problem. Can you now see my screen?
Yeah, I can't see it. Please, can any other person see it in the group?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can see it.
Yes.
Yes, we
All
can.
right.
We can. Yes, we
All
can.
right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I know because of the way things are, maybe we didn't look. But the idea is this is what we're talking about: understanding and implementation, due diligence of investment as Nigerians in the diaspora. It's a whole different ballgame compared to people down there. But what I'm about to show is just my own experience and the problems I've had when I started farming in Nigeria, and solutions also that we've come up with up till now that's currently working for me. So you might get an idea of it, even though you're in Nigeria, or if you're trying to invest from overseas. But I've focused this mostly on people at overseas. So I'm hoping that you can still learn something out of it. Basically, this is just a brief background because there's a lot, but I would not pull all the issue here. I first came in, I think 2015, I bought some land in Nigeria. That was just my first experience. It hasn't really been great. There was a lot of challenges. I did lost a lot of money. I had to walk away because it's just got to a point, just couldn't hack it no more. It's like you're draining money, you're working hard here, you're putting money back up, and you're still working hard, but you can't see the value. But it was beyond just that. Every time I travel back to Nigeria, I thought that we could make much difference, which what you were saying now, the amount of money we pump out. And I think we could do more. And this is the reason why I came back, because it's about what can we do to impact agriculture. Food is cheap here. How come food is not cheap, even though we've got more land than they have here? So that's the reason why I came back. And it's gotten better anyway. So this is my simple personal experience. So what I'm about to, I'll move on to the next slide. So talking about investing in Nigeria, one of the things people face, or one of the things that comes to mind when you say invest in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians don't even want to, because what happens, like my experience, you put money back home, because you're not there 24/7, the money goes missing. People don't do their work. Then there's the political problem in Nigeria, economic climate, a lot of fraud, a lot of scam. People think you get here and you pick money. There's no free money. We work for money and then bring all this money back. So those are one of the challenges. People don't want to invest in Nigeria because they've already worried about what will happen to their money. There is no recouping of this money, and it's happened to me. I'll share this slide at the end of the day so you can still go back for it. And this is still talking about the same issues, about how we must do due diligence. Look at the risk, identify risk. But the truth is, there's a lot of opportunities for us also. Not only to invest, but also to take agriculture into the next level. If we can just find the right people to work with us. So on that note, I would leave it here. If you have any question concerning this first topic, I think you should ask. Quickly.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Adeleke Eniola. If I get it right, some
Yes,
of the things you've tried to explain to us is how your due diligence have helped you even when you are discouraged at the first at the point of being discouraged, at the phase of discouragement, to come back to invest even into the nation. And this cannot be done, and this cannot be carried out by any Nigeria out there without passion and without this endurance and diligence. And you've tried to explain the risk that are daring, which includes fraud, scams and some other things, mismanagement of funds, even because you are not around and because you are not available. Is that some of the things you've tried to explain to us, sir?
Yeah, those are the main issues. People, the stories you hear, and when you go back home, people say there's no money. Everybody is living life. Then you invest money and you don't see it. Or people just do whatever they want and you lose money. So those are the things that are really, really pushing people not to invest in Nigeria. And if we continue to do that, two things: we drain brain, we drain finances, and the economy will not improve. But I can see the progress is coming, and we're still taking steps to make things better. So, if I can continue, I've listed some few things here now concerning steps to take, or steps that I've taken. So if anybody wants to go in, these are few things and that I think they should look into. And the way I've done is I'll talk about each one. Say I'll talk about land acquisition, and I'll give anybody opportunity to ask questions or talk about it.
Sorry, sir. Before we move to steps to take, can I ask, what is your advice to Nigerians that are facing the similar challenges on investing into let's say any other? Okay, I don't want to go to that part because I still want to ask you that particular question. So let me just brief it. What is your advice? What will your advice be to any Nigerian out there about investing in Nigeria, even in the face of these challenges and issues on ground? Thank you, sir.
Okay. One of the things I put there is the management team and engagement. Those are the two steps to counter those things. You need to first find the right team. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. They are your friends, they are families. It doesn't work like that. This is an investment. You have to see it as not emotional. It's a transaction. I provide a service and you give me something in return. Yeah. So you're coming into this, you have to have a man or team in place that will do the work, that will deliver what you want. You need to come in with a mindset that everything has to be in place. If you have to have a lawyer to do a legal terms, you need to do a due diligence and understanding what's happening in your country. what is going to happen within the country and what the next step will be. There is no emotional investment. It will not work. You have to do a bit of exercise and get the right thing in place. That's a good advice I can give you. If I go into this more, I can explain on each one and you open your eyes to understand what needs to happen in each part. It doesn't matter where you invest in, it doesn't matter what industry, it's the same.
Okay,
Hello?
thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I still want to ask you like two more questions before we move to steps to take. I want to ask, sir, what are the possible sectors that one can invest in as a Nigeria in the diaspora?
Agriculture as a whole needs more investment than anything. People talk about rebuilding houses. You can build a house, that's great. But only people that can afford it. You can't build a house that's worth 100 million and expect everybody. Agriculture is one area that needs more investment than anything. Because if the nation is not fed, it doesn't matter what idea you bring in. But hunger decides what people do next. This is the reason why I think this is one area that needs more investment than anything else. I don't know any other sector that needs it. Everything else will require a bit of government, but this, we can take control of this. This is where I think investment needs to come in more, not the housing.
All
I
right.
hope that answers the question.
Okay, sir. I want to ask you again, sir. You own the Calabash Farm Limited in Nigeria. Is it Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I want to ask, how can a Nigerian out there invest? You are not here, but you own something that is actually solving problem here. How can someone outside like you do something? It might not be in that form. Like, how do you think we can go about these investments? Even when, let's say, I don't have a knowledge of agriculture, I want to invest, just as you talk about agriculture, I want to invest in agriculture, I want to invest in other sector. How can I go about it and I'm not available?
Okay. Again, there is no family or friends in this business. The best thing would be to get a company. And in this case, I was lucky to meet Dogma. They provide a service of managing this product that I want to bring out. And I think that's the easiest way for someone in diaspora. You find a company that actually does a job and you engage their service to give it to you. Family and friends, I'm not too convinced that that's the solution because they might not have all the necessary skills. They might not have the network. Chances are we don't have those networks. If there is problems, they would not have a solution. So your best bet would be get a lawyer, barrister, whatever you want to call them. Let them do the diligent work. Pay for their services. Get a management team. Visit them. Engage the management team one-on-one. So they have an idea of what you want to achieve and they can understand where you're coming from, the passion that you have before investing. Now you have done all that. It still doesn't mean it's so smooth. As you still have to keep on top. Keep looking at the environment, economy, what is happening politically, because this is an investment now. You need to still keep talking to the right people. Engage, involve yourself in seminars, in training on that particular sectors you want to invest in. So it's not about I put money, this is what the results should be. It doesn't work sometimes. And this is where the passion and everything comes. But all in all, I still think you get a team and you get your lawyer in place. That is the minimum step before you can start investing in money.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adeleke. Also, sorry, I want us to sort out some things before we move to that particular steps to take. So I think I have two more questions to ask in that regards. I want to ask you, sir, why do you think all Nigerians have to participate in this present Nigeria economy? Why do you think we have to participate in the improvements into contributing to something to improve the Nigerian economy at the present state that we are?
All right, well, this is a very, very good question. One of the problems I always have with people is this. Everybody says, it's not my problem. After all, if this is the word, maybe government. But actually, you are government. You are the society. It's like living at home. If you are hungry at home, it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you. You would not listen because your first priority is your hunger. That is your only focus. How to feed myself. And the society has got to that point. All we think about is individualism. We don't work collectively. We're so focused on I want this, I want that. Even at the detriment of everybody else, we don't care. Only about us. So as Nigerians, we need to start seeing that we cannot do it as a whole. We need to work together. That's why it's called division of labor. Everybody has a part to take. The government will do theirs, but we have to do ours. Somebody has to bring the wheel or tire. Somebody has to drive the car. Some mechanic has to put it all together. Somebody has to put the glass in. It's not made by one company, it's made by different companies. But by bringing all together, we have a car or a bus. That is how it needs to work. You do your part, and I do my part, and that's the only way forward. The youth need to also understand that we have the opportunity now to make it better. My papa don't run, and nothing they don't do. You know what I mean? Things like, if they do their time, they enjoy life. It was easy for them. Yes, it was easy for them, but they live for themselves too. If we make the same mistake, we will have the same problem. In fact, it will be worse for the next generation because there will be nothing for them to meet. So we need to wake up and do more. Not individualism, but as one unity, as a team. Work together to achieve progress. And hopefully that answers the question.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. But permit me to ask, practically, how can youths out there, there is a level of selfishness in every human being, and especially Nigerians, we are very selfish. I want to be the owner of my farmland. I want to be able to boast about it out there that I have 200 acres of farmland. I have this, I have that. I don't want to I don't want to combine with anybody to do anything. I don't want to partner with anybody because I want to take the whole glory. So how do you think youth out there can actually fight against this level of selfishness like that we have in virtually everybody, to work together and do something? How can we practically do something? Let's say, for example, in the agricultural sector.
Okay. One of the things one of the things that I'm currently working on here is something that you just asked a question about. It's bringing collectively investors together to invest. Youths have to see it as it's not just me. It's a lot of people coming together to achieve results. Now, the idea that you own 500 acres of land is great. But if it doesn't benefit you at the end of the day, it's still a waste of money. It's a waste of investment. I've been there before. This is what I'm telling you. I invested alone. I was trying to do it alone, but I realized it will not work. Working together works well. So one of the steps would be this. If you're scared about somebody taking your money and walking away, this is why we've got lawyers. I know people say, we don't trust the system. Nigeria is so corrupt. No. We need to start having faith in some things. We need to spend money in the right places, not spending it at the beer parlor and expecting business to go forward. Get your lawyer in. This is what I have done. Draft a document for everyone that comes to invest with me or anybody that wants to do business with me. We sit down, we have a talk. You bring your lawyer, I bring mine. If we are 20, we'll bring 20 lawyers into the table. Every lawyer drafts a document for each person. Everyone signs that document. Everyone has got a copy of each person's document. That is one way of going around it. You might say the system is corrupt, but no, corruption is us as a person, it's not the system. If my lawyer does their job properly and yours does the same, guess what? We've got that binding contract. You can go to any court and say, I own 20%. That's one. Secondly, you just don't invest and not see or not do due diligence about what you're investing in. You talk to the people you want to invest with. Have an idea of what their mindset is. Do they sound right? Are they just talking for talking's sake? But they actually know what they're talking about. You go back with the information and do your research and come back to the table. A deal doesn't have to be signed in one day. You can sign a deal in 30 days, 6 months, depending on the contract. But all in all, sit down, talk to your partners, and get your lawyer. That is one way around it. Do your research, do diligence, and come back to them. But always be engaged in that sector. Always. You can't just invest and walk away. That's not good. Yes, sir. Carry on, please.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We've been able to establish the fact that the government cannot do it alone. This economy, we have to combine and work together. We have to participate. All Nigerians have a part to play in this present economy to actually make it better. Then we've been able to establish, Mr. Adeleke has been able to explain to us how we have to move out from being selfish and cooperatively work together, combine knowledge, combine experiences, and attack this problem and solve the present problem that is on ground. Okay, with this, I would like you, sir, to explain to us about the steps to take. Over to you, sir.
Okay. I will talk about each one. And if you have a question, I think it's best we tackle that question as we go along. It will just be short. I won't take long to answer. And hopefully, at the end of the day, then if we've got enough time, we can talk about a lot of things. But I like to touch on everything. Again, at the bottom, if you can read this, there's no new idea anywhere. There is nothing new in this world. Everything we do is just to take what's currently there and improve on it. And this is what we have to do with agriculture. They started with hoe and cutlass. They came up with mechanized system. There's different methods, but whatever we do, it's about getting better at it and moving on to the next one. So the greatest problem I had, or one of the greatest challenges anyone will face, is buying land. And this is why I said that you need to do more due diligence. I didn't do a proper check when I started because I wasn't in Nigeria. I was overseas. The land was purchased on my behalf. So there wasn't proper check, even though I was asking the right question. And they were giving me the yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. But that wasn't what was happening. Until I got to Nigeria, I think it was 2017, I actually started getting an idea of what I was losing money on. So, ways around there, I had to get a lawyer. All my documents, everything, any land plots, we had to go through it. Recently, I think I came in this year, April this year. Then I went on, that's because me and Dr. have been working for 2 years. I came in this year to start meeting them in person for the first time. We went for a farm tour, and this was where I learned some new things. There is families to talk to. There is the Oba and the chiefs, the kings, and there's government record to check. But I think the solution for me, especially if you're in diaspora, is to buy from farming estates rather than doing it as an individual, because they should have gone through all this steps, spoken to the Obas, spoken to the Bales, the kings, and going through government record. That's what the farming estate should do. And more importantly, once the farming estate get all the documents, they should present it to your lawyer, which will look into it and oversee making sure the information there is completely cost you money. It's better to use initial money than to lose the whole project. That's what almost happened to me. I almost lost everything. So land acquisition is very important. If you're going to buy land, if you're going through the route of buying, but make sure you go through the right channels. Is there any question on this before I move on?
Thank you, Mr. Adeleke. The only question that I really want to ask about this is that, it's not everybody that can own farmland and that can actually, let's say, you have a Calabash, you are the director of Calabash Farms Limited in Nigeria. It's not everybody that can go to that extent of securing farmland, let's say hundreds of acres or even acres of land, and let's say managing it. So I want to ask, what other means, for example, if I'm a Nigerian in the diaspora now and I want to invest in the economy, what other means? If I want to invest in agriculture, for example, and I don't want to, let's say, be the director of a farmland or something, how do you think I can go about it?
If you want to be an investor, you can be an investor. You just be what is basically a passive investor. But you will look at a company that's currently established. There's a lot of companies doing that in Nigeria at present, saying that if you invest in some certain products, like there's one with palm kernel that you can invest in palm kernel and you get a return every year. I'm not even sure what the percentage is. Say you invest $1 million and you can get, I don't know, 200,000 at the end of the year. There are companies like that you can buy into. When I say buying into farming estate, I don't mean to own the whole estate. You can buy part of an estate. Say the estate is like 200 acres. You can buy into it just 100. You can buy 2 acres into it. And because it's part of a farm estate, the management company that manages the farm estate will be doing most of the work. So that is 2 ways that you can be a passive investor. You don't really have to buy all the lands. No. You can be into farm estate. There's a lot of programs where people will say invest the money into it and you will get a return. Those are good, but they still all need due diligence. You need to be sure that your money is not going to waste or somebody is not using another company's information. Besides that, I'm not too sure what other ways you can go. These are the 2 options. You invest in a company that's currently there, that's currently working, or you buy into a farmland and let the company do management for you. I think Dokma does some estate that you can buy part of it and not own the whole farm estate. So that's one way, and a lot of companies do. So you can use those 2 options. Those are 2 options that I know and I'm confident that I can do.
Thank you so much, sir. These 2 options are very great ones. Like, you don't have to own a farm, like you don't have to be a director of a farmland. You can invest in a company that is doing it already, and you can even buy part of an estate to actually invest in it. Before we proceed, sir, I still want to ask you, even one of the issues we have in Nigeria and in Nigeria with some of the establishments is management. For Nigerians that are even available in Nigeria, it is very, very difficult to trust. I have worked with sectors, like with some companies, and I've noticed that one of the things that is very, very quick to bring about the fall of a company is management. How are you able to do it? How have you been managing your farmland over here, and you are not present, and it's still bubbling? So how are you doing it, sir?
So I have to laugh. Basically, there is no direct management anymore. Exactly what you said. The management almost ruined the company at first. because people were doing what they wanted to do, knowing that you're not available to oversee them. So I have taken a very simple route. I have given the management of my farm and everything to Dofma. I'm not here to sell Dofma to you. There are companies that do, a lot of companies do it. But because I've worked with them and I've come to trust them, they have a binding contract with my lawyer. Even though they don't see me, they can talk to my lawyer today. If my lawyer says she wants to visit them, Dofma has no choice but to respond. That's part of the contract. But it's not easy managing a company or managing anything, especially when you're not present in a climate where the need for hunger is higher than the need for production. So I can't give you a definite answer, but I would say you need to find a management company that actually manages farm that's older than you. And you need to try and work with them, but start small and see how they manage until you can trust them enough to put so much into them. I have been lucky to find a team that can actually work. And right now, I only get updates, maybe monthly or even every 3 months. I don't have to physically or get involved in what they do because I have set the goals that I want. And all they have to do is manage and give me. I've got a farm also that's not managed now. It's managed by another company. And it's the same principle. This is what you need to achieve at the end of, I don't know, that's a fish farm. So it's between 4 months and 6 months that they come up with results. And that's the same with CRISPR. They manage, they get results. But like I said, it's about trust. Only when they achieve the smaller goals, then can you now go into the next goal, But there is no one solution for it's
All
a
right.
risk, small scale, they're not in a large scale.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeleke. He has been able to tell us about the management aspect. It's something to start a business or something or invest in something. It's another thing to manage it because without management, it might just ruin in couple of months, even weeks. So thank you so much, sir. I would like you to actually proceed with our steps to take because time is no longer on our side.
Okay. So the next thing is the financial aspect. And I think this affects anybody, irrespective of where you are. The first thing people go for, well, I'm not reading everything, I'm just going to summarize. Everyone goes into this in agriculture for investment and hopefully to get something back in return. That's the most important thing. But I will point something out to you. If you are not passionate, and that's the word, passionate about agriculture, chances that you will walk into it and walk out of it in months because there's no quick fix in agriculture and there's no quick, what do you call this scheme that we do? Get rich quick scheme. There's no get rich quick. It's about a process. It's about working part of the process to get results. Challenges will come. That's no two way about it. But you need to understand what you invest in, why. And that's why I say you need to do a bit of research before you go into the industry. You don't just people say, yeah, when you invest this money, you're going to get those results. It doesn't. You need to understand what comes with it. Sometimes it doesn't work well. It doesn't. What do we do? Also, the system that we currently have in Nigeria does not support business. I'm sorry to say it. Or maybe because I'm overseas. When I opened my bank account, one of the first things they said, oh, I can get a loan. So agricultural loan was meant to be 8%. That's what I was told. They offered me a percentage of 20 to 26%. I said there is no way any business will survive. But that is what they're willing to offer. At 20%, meaning I will be working the first year just to pay the bank. I don't think that's good. So this is why I think investors overseas, or even in Nigeria, you need to start learning to work together. If everybody says the project is a 1 million, If we can find 5 people to put 200,000 each, that's 1 month. That project will kick off. Yes, you only got a fifth of the business or whatever, but you are making progress and you're part of the solution. If you're waiting for yourself to get that 1 million, you might not get it because the economy isn't stable. We need to start looking at not being selfish, but being able to become part of something. Find people we can trust. Have a binding contract and invest together. If you have 100,000 invest, but you get a percentage of what you invest only, nothing more. And I hope that helps. Is there any question on this?
No, sir, you can proceed, sir.
Yeah, especially, sorry, I'll just point on it. People in diaspora, you can find friends, because I'm currently doing that now, getting my friends together. Find friends. You don't have to come into Nigeria and say, oh, I'm looking for, I don't know, 50 million to invest. No, you don't. You can find few people around you and you can invest in a little. And then you can, once things are moving forward, then you invest more. Every year you put more into it. Next slide. Yeah, so here, like I said earlier, the best start that we've got. Because we are not in Nigeria, we cannot be active investors like that wanted to do our trust. We can't. We have to learn to just be passive. We invest. We hope we've done our due diligence. We've got the team in place. And they can do their work. And we can oversee from outside. The next goal is the hybrid investor. It's not going to be easy, but I think the way I'm working towards it, hopefully by 2023, we will do the first experiment. And the idea is to have between 5 and 10 investors overseas, or maybe a mixture with people back home. So there is always somebody that travels back amongst us that can go into the farm and see what's happening. I hope that makes sense. So if we've got people, say we've got 2 people in Nigeria, they can be active while the rest of us overseas can be passive. So that is a mixture that we could be working together in the next phase, but it's still a work in progress. Any question on this before I move on?
There are questions, sir, but I would like you to round up first so we can take all the questions at once because we have just 8 minutes more. So if you can round up, so we will be able to address those questions, sir. Thank you, sir.
Like I said in the beginning, family and friends, I'm not saying they don't have good mindsets. They do. But it's just lack of experience. And when things go wrong, they don't know what to do. And because they're not invested in it like you are, they might walk away because it's just too much for them. That is why I said you need to find a thing that you can can be responsible. You hold them accountable. They can consult you when there's issue, and they will know when to inform you that, oh, we've got something that needs to be addressed ASAP. It's not easy. But like I said, start small and work your way upwards. I won't talk much about Document because it's worked well for me. But I'm guessing the reason most of you are here is because Document has been doing much for you also. So that's my team for now. I'm really not changing it. Engagement. I think it's very important. And like I said, social media has helped a lot. It means I can communicate with people I don't have to. We're currently using social media right now. I'm talking to you now, and you're listening to me. That has helped me a lot. It's made me that I can do things and focus on myself here without having to be in Nigeria. Also, training, going to seminars, watching videos, practicing stuff, it helps. By doing those things, you become more engaged in this product, you become more engaged in the fund itself, you become more engaged with the sector. I listened earlier when someone was talking about agriculture for the cashew. That's part of engagement. I've learned something new today I didn't know before. It's all part of it. It's about moving forward. And again, I said it, when you started, even if you're 20 people in the business, people say, too many people in the business about me. If we understand what we want to achieve and what the goal is, we can be 100 investors. That's what we are, passive investors. We will just make sure we call management team. This is the goal. This is what we need to achieve. So you don't need millions. You could start small. Be a passive investor, but understand what you're investing in and what the goal is. Make sure the goal is aligned with yours, the company's goal and your goal are the same. At the bottom here, if you read the second side, it says we're focused on individual achievement that takes years to achieve. Rather, we could be working together to achieve victory. I don't have to own it all. I can own part of it, but I am moving forward. I am solving a problem, not creating problems. This is the last bit. If you don't have passion, agriculture will wear you down. There is no two way about it. Because it takes months for you to see results. You name one product in agriculture. You farming, and the easiest thing is corn. Even that takes 3 months. That's a lot of time. There is no quick way around it. I like food. I like good food. That's why I went into that. Is the opportunity also that I can provide. That is the. I hand it over back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeleke. It has been a nice session with you, like a very wonderful one. How you have turned your passion into a means to solve problems, even while you are not available in the country. And I just want to brief, like go through the summary so we can welcome questions, especially from Mr. Babatunde. You'll be the first person to ask questions. So let me just quickly run through because of people that just joined. You've talked about how agriculture is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and that's why most people fall into this fraud. Like they fall into they fall into being a victim because most Nigerians want to invest today and get back the money tomorrow. Like they want to get the yes, like they just want to make it quick. In fact, some people they want to invest in the money and reap in the evening. It's not possible with the agricultural sector. You have to entertain patience, and that's one of the reasons. That's one of the ways to actually identify the fraudsters and the scammers. And you've talked about how we can work together, like how you are trying to actually work together with some other people in the diaspora to invest in farm estate. That's a very good means of this investment. You talk about the hybrid, the active and the passive investors, and how hybrid is it's actually one of the best. You've talked about the process that you have to start small, and but after getting someone to entrust with, you can actually make it big, and how it has to be transactional and not, even though you are passionate about it, you cannot be emotional about it because it has to be transactional. And you've talked about how due diligence will actually help one to stay through the process. Thank you so much, sir. With this, I would like to welcome your question, Mr. Babatunde. Your question, sir.
All right, now can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good afternoon, sir.
All right, so what I want to say, I will ask a question, but let me be fast about it. I've heard what Mr. Adeleke said. Is really eating it. Let's just say in Nigeria, the government, unlike the civilized country like Europe and all, you will see them supporting agriculture because this is food. You will see them supporting it even to the extent of taking if you could not sell your store or you run out laws, they will even give you soft. But in this country, it's not possible. You don't get it. You don't get it like that, like the way they get it. Now, in this country, people that even have passion for agric, they will do it, but on the other side, they still be running another thing like side also because you just notice that once you run at loss or everything just finish or you have a problem with your agriculture, you have somewhere to fall to. So I want to ask Mr. Adeleke that now that he's back to Nigeria, how is it been for him to be able to get his space in the agricultural sector. So that's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry to. I'm not really in Nigeria. I'm still in UK. But like I
Okay,
said,
sorry, but how have you been doing it then? So sorry.
Mr.
yeah,
Obatunde, please, can you drop your hands? Thank you.
okay. So I have entrusted the farm with Dogma because they have become the management company. They can focus on the running the day to day. I can focus on a much larger part of it, which is this is the goal for the year. And they can say, okay, this is what we can achieve. And we work towards that. I can go outside and say, okay, I've achieved this year. Investors, I need you to come into this project now so we can achieve that for next year. So that's all I'm doing right now. And because they are doing, that's like I said, division of labor, because they are doing their job and managing, it gives me time to sit back and see what the result is. Once they give me a result, I can now take this result to people and say, you need to come into the sector because this is a problem we can solve for the country. It's not just, oh, we can make money. Money's not all. I hope that answered the question, or am I not putting it right?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. Miss Ojuolua, please, your question in few seconds because we're already behind time.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Ojuolua.
Sorry, Mr. Ojuolua. Please, can you drop your hands and move on with your question? Thank you, sir.
I think want to ask Mr. Adeleke, with this concept, I believe if we can all look into it, it's actually a wonderful one. But I think he will be limited in some ways, by having to be constrained by some part, type of crops that will be growing. And I also want to ask about the market. Who has been helping you about the marketing? Or is the managerial part the marketing?
Okay, if I understand that question, you're trying to say what kind of crops have been growing and what have they been marketing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So at first we did a lot of vegetables. And like I said, because Dogma I didn't hand over full control to them. We had a lot of issues with that because I had something to do in the farm. Dogma just came into the picture then, so they were just like trying to manage, oversee from the top. Things didn't go right because we had a lot of issues with logistics and all that. And when we sat down, we looked at what we've done wrong, what we've done right. And that's why I handed the whole company, in a way, the whole management to them, saying, I will step back and you take control. So from production, logistics, and everything, they will handle it. They will handle it. But it's not that they just make decisions. No, they have to sit and talk to me. And I have to be, okay, this is what the result will be of what you're about to do. So it's working together to achieve it. So that's why I said you need to understand what your goals are and how you will achieve them. In my case, I realized I would not be able to handle anything in 2 days. Give it to them because they know what they do. They will sit down maybe every few months to talk about what the goals are. Are we meeting those goals? Or do we need to move the goalpost? And like I said, it's worked better this way for me than what it was before. So you will have to find what works for you. But the idea is still the same. What do I want to achieve? How would I achieve it? And whoever you bring in, they'll be able to achieve it for you. Now, if you want them to plant, they can plant for you. But you have to look at the logistics. Or if you want to go and buy from somebody, you have to look at logistics. So whichever way it's about a bit of research, a bit of due diligence and focus, and they engage in a lot of social media groups or agricultural groups because you keep learning every day.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to cut in now. It's been a wonderful session. It's been a very impactful session. A wonderful session. It's been an impactful session. You've seen what it is to be a Nigerian in diaspora. and how this series of attitude we've put in place, how it has affected a lot of people from investing back into their country. They love their country, they want to see its progress, but then several experiences have kept them in waiting, in wandering phase, and that's not good. I hope this summit, by the time we have the record published outside, would force the right conversation as much as possible. And that is very, 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 very key. And with that, thank you so much, Mr. Adeleke Eniola. We are so grateful that you graced our speaking request, and we hope that together we can further increase the volume and expectation that is expected of Nigerians, even as they do business, that will lead with integrity at the front. With that stated, we'll be postponing to a later date the launch of the YAD